but he lets Flamesy drop in the process. Hut push means bomb dropped. Mezzy off the site again. Rock solid anchors. Rock solid vitality. They pull it off again.
Counter-Strike is over 20 years old at this point, and yet no other shooter has managed to dethrone it. Not because nobody is trying. Games like Valorant, Rainbow Six Siege, or even Battlefield's competitive modes have taken swings at CS's formula, but none of them feel the same. Now, why is that? Why does a game with such simple mechanics, no sprinting, no abilities, no loadouts,
And then, oh fuck!
still dominate the gaming space as the purest competitive FPS?
2021! It's now me!
Counter-Strike is a game that thrives in its limitations. No regenerating health, no aim down sights, no hero abilities, just raw gunplay, movement, and economy. This forces players to master fundamentals, recoil control, positioning, and resource management. Games like Valorant try to mix CS's gunplay with mobile-like abilities, but that shifts focus away from pure shooting skill. Meanwhile, Siege leans to gadgets and destruction, making rounds more about setup than execution. COD? It's all about fast reflexes and loadouts, not tactical teamwork. CS's simplicity isn't a lack of depth. Quite the opposite, really. It's what makes CS so complex.
Ibort, dump it.
The economy system in CS is unlike any other. The first games to implement the system are RPGs, but then a couple FPS games like Team Fortress Classic and Terrorist Hunt, which was a Duke Nukem mod at the time, included it in the game. CS adopted the system in 1999. Though not the first, they were the ones who popularized that system to a competitive environment. And it did so for a reason. Without the economy system, I don't think Counter-Strike would be the incredible game it is today, or maybe 2 years ago. But yeah, the extra minigame like money management system keeps the strategy part of the game fresh and fun to play. Now, a couple of other games have tried to mirror the system, but none had achieved the same effect as CS. Off the top of your head, what can you think of? Valorant? While it's most similar to CS, the importance of said economy is not the same. You can lose as much as you want in Valorant, but typically you can still buy the main guns such as Vandal or Phantom. Maybe a little bit short for armor, but you get the idea. CS is more balanced and forces eco rounds to be more impactful to the overall match. There's a ton of other games that adopt economy, but I guess I'll leave it at that for now. In CS, movement is a weapon. Newer shooters keep adding gimmicks. Wall running, hero powers, destructibility, but CS proves that clean, focused designs last forever. Counter-strafing, bunny hops, pixel-perfect peaks. These aren't just tricks, they're necessities. Compare that to Valorant's sluggish strafing or COD's slide cancelling. Even recoil isn't left to chance. CS sprays are learnable patterns. Players nowadays would maybe call it unfair or unbalanced, but in actuality, those techniques are what make the game so interesting and in-depth. After all, those tricks were first discovered by players themselves rather than the developers intentionally putting them in.
Where am I?
CS maps are designed like chessboards. Every angle, every choke point matters. They're balanced for competitive play, not spectacle. Notice how in almost every map in CS always follows the same formula. A site, B site, mid. This isn't lazy design, rather it's intentionally done to be easily understood. Unlike Valorant's twisty corridors or Siege's destructible mazes, CS maps are built like chessboards. Players know the angles, the timings, the rotations. This predictability doesn't lower the skill ceiling, it raises it. When both teams understand the map perfectly, outplaying someone becomes pure strategy, not luck.
Блядь, да сука, да ёб твою, ты заебал меня, блядь, конченый кусок!
CS's community is a long-standing one. It's been there since the very beginning of competitive games, considering CS is one of the OGs in the competitive gaming scene. The pro scene, the skin economy, the modding community, no shooter has that same legacy. The amount of content that people have created for this one single game is astounding. There's skin trading, which supposedly has now reached to a point where a single skin is worth about $1.5 million. There's the professionals who came and go through CS, each of them leaving their mark as one of the best gamers in history, and also the skills are transferable to other games and streaming. The mods for CS, heck, CS itself was a mod of Half-Life at the beginning. That in and of itself should have told us from the beginning that CS is going to be one of the most customizable games in existence, and also has birthed other games through its modding community. Games like Valorant or The Finals may compete for attention, but they don't have 20 years of muscle memory and history behind them.
Never give up, folks!
Even when a game does mimic CS well, like Iron Sight or Battlefield's Diffuse mode, it lacks the ecosystem. Let me put it this way, I've played a number of different games in my lifetime, and one of my favorites are competitive games, even though I'm not that good at it. I'd like to take one of my other most played competitive games as an example for this point, Tekken. In Tekken, there's a bunch of different playstyles available for every character you pick. You might be the one to do gimmicks, or maybe you're a hardcore traditionalist and only play fundamentals, or even full on defense and offense. It's like all these different games I've mentioned before, Dota, League, Valorant, all of them put into one singular thing. But to play the game to the higher levels is when you play it with fundamentals. What makes it interesting is the core gameplay, the movements, the fundamentals. Just like the different type of characters and playstyles in Tekken, other competitive games like hero shooters or MOBAs adopt this type of gameplay mechanic as well. However, just like Valorant in recent years or Overwatch since the beginning of its inception, the complexity of fundamentals in the game is overshadowed by abilities, gimmicks, and short-term fun.
They just time it. I guess in Valorant it's also easier. Oh yeah. Wait, this is actually. Oh my god! Wait, the overview.
This is not a bad point though, as abilities can spice up the game in a way that makes it interesting in the long run. But if you focus too much on set abilities, then the fundamentals take a hit, and well, you probably already know what happens by now in those types of games. But wait, before we end the video, I want to convey my thoughts on why I made this video in the first place.
Take this shit no more, man!
You see, I made this video because recently there's nothing else in the market that's as similar and fun like CS. Sure, there's Valorant, Siege, Rifles, all these different games, but none of them really captured the full essence of CS. There's always something lacking, but besides the point, why did I want to play something else? Well, that brings me to my next point.
Or was I?
Okay, so you probably already know if you've played CS2 these past few years/months. The beginning was really bad. Hackers were everywhere, CSGO was deleted from existence, the economy has kinda been unstable, but most of all, the changes in CS2. But yeah, the hackers were pretty bad actually. CS2 doesn't feel quite the same as CSGO if you've noticed. It is a different game after all, but I don't know. I haven't done much research on this, so maybe some of you may know more than me, but shooting and gunplay in CS2 feels a bit off. Sometimes getting headshots are a little bit more RNG and not as skillful as before. The servers in my experience are also quite unstable. Some of my friends have been getting lag and packet losses more often. Also, the hacker problem. Even now, it's been somewhat taken care of. It left a sour taste in the player's mouth. They used AI or something in the beginnings of CS2's cheating problem, and that sure took way too much time to work. Because now I'm playing CS not because it's fun, but because of that weekly case drop. The ranking system is also pretty bad. I hate that every map has its own ranking now. It doesn't feel as good in CSGO when you rank up to a higher level. The Premier system is also kinda broken because of all the hackers, but to be honest, even if it did get fixed, getting a CSGO rank feels way better than some numbers on your screen. It just feels like the enjoyment of climbing the ranks is gone. But yeah, I guess that brings me to why I decided to make this video. There's no other competitive shooter games like Counter-Strike. All in all, will we ever get a Counter-Strike killer? Maybe, but it'll be tough to beat. Bye bye.